Pay attention to these two people in this CCTV footage. The man, visibly agitated and pointing a handgun, is Vincent Calabrese, a 38-year-old auto mechanic. The woman arguing with him from the other end of the gun is Dr. Patricia Holloway, a respected 41-year-old cardiac surgeon. Little did she know, these were the final moments of her life.
At 7:07 a.m. on December 28, 1999, right there in front of Patricia's house, the man with the gun would change the trajectory of both of their lives forever. In the following moments, a tragic confrontation would unfold, forever altering the course of Vincent's life and ultimately his journey for justice. Before we dive deeper, don't forget to subscribe to the Untold Trace for more gripping true crime stories. Hit the bell icon to stay updated.
It's 7:10 a.m. The San Diego Police Department's 911 dispatch center receives a frantic call from a neighbor in the affluent La Jolla neighborhood. Her voice trembling with panic, she reports hearing gunshots just moments earlier. Through her panicked breaths, she describes a woman lying motionless on a lawn, a man standing nearby, walking away from the scene with chilling calm. When the police arrived, they expected to hunt down a fleeing suspect, but what they found waiting for them was far more unsettling than they could have anticipated. Dr. Patricia Holloway, a respected surgeon with a career built on precision and success, had been killed in a shocking act of violence. But what made this case even chilling was the absence of the traditional frantic chase. The killer had not run. Instead, he simply walked away, as if carrying out a task with cold, calculated intent. If you're fascinated by crime mysteries, like and share this video to help us reach more viewers. Leave a comment with your thoughts on this shocking crime.
Vincent Calabrese, a 38-year-old auto mechanic, had already endured significant loss in his life. Years earlier, his wife had died in a car accident, leaving him to raise their 67-year-old mother, Rosa, alone. For Vincent, his mother was everything. Rosa was an Italian immigrant who had worked for over 40 years as a seamstress, and she was the heart of his world. When she was diagnosed with aortic valve stenosis in late 1998, Vincent dedicated himself entirely to her care. He researched doctors, attended every appointment, and did his best to translate the complex medical information for his mother. His only goal was to see her through the surgery that would save her life. On January 12, 1999, Vincent and Rosa Calabrese sat in the polished waiting room of Dr. Patricia Holloway's office at Mercy General Hospital. As they waited, they watched Dr. Holloway spend nearly 45 minutes with a well-dressed couple before them, laughing and speaking warmly. But when the Calabreses were called in, the atmosphere changed instantly. The consultation lasted only 11 minutes, and Dr. Holloway barely made eye contact with Rosa, directing her explanations to Vincent. When Rosa tried to ask a question in her broken English, Dr. Holloway appeared visibly irritated. Vincent's concerns about the surgery were met with short, dismissive answers. It was an encounter that left him with an unsettling feeling, a feeling that would only grow stronger as he learned more about the surgeon he had put his trust in. Are you shocked by Dr. Holloway's behavior? Let us know your opinion in the comments below. On the morning of March 15, 1999, Rosa Calabrese was admitted to Mercy General Hospital at 6:30 a.m. Vincent stayed with her until she was taken to pre-op, reassuring her that everything would be fine. Dr. Holloway, meanwhile, arrived at the hospital nearly an hour and a half late, 30 minutes behind schedule. Hospital records later revealed that she had attended a charity gala the evening previous. The surgery began at 8:15 a.m. For the first hour, everything appeared routine. But at 9:52 a.m., the first critical error occurred. Dr. Holloway miscalculated the prosthetic valve size. Instead of remeasuring, she forced the oversized valve into position. Shortly after, while suturing, her instrument nicked Rosa's left coronary artery, a severe mistake that could have been repaired if caught in time, but it wasn't. At 10:34 a.m., alarms sounded in the operating room as Rosa's blood pressure plummeted. The surgical team discovered massive internal bleeding caused by the two unaddressed errors. Despite frantic attempts to repair the damage, it was too late. At 11:03 a.m., Rosa Calabrese was pronounced dead on the operating table. If you're following this intense case, make sure to subscribe for more updates on this chilling investigation.
In the weeks following his mother's death, Vincent Calabrese was consumed by grief. His small apartment in Chula Vista became a silent memorial to the only family he had left. But then a bill arrived from Mercy General Hospital, an $87,600 demand for the surgery that had taken his mother's life. His mother's limited insurance covered less than half of it. Staring at the cold demand for payment, Vincent's grief began to harden into something else: suspicion. He called Dr. Holloway's office 26 times over the next few weeks, requesting his mother's medical records and a chance to understand what went wrong. But his calls were never returned. Frustrated and stonewalled, he used what little money he had left to hire David Morse, an attorney specializing in medical malpractice. Morse immediately requested the complete unedited case file from the hospital, including the detailed operative report from Rosa's surgery. He then sent the entire file to Dr. Raymond Fisher, an independent cardiac surgeon with a reputation for blunt, unbiased reviews. For weeks, Vincent waited, hoping for an answer that would either confirm his fears or allow him to finally let go. Support the channel by liking and sharing this video with your friends. Let's raise awareness about these critical issues. On May 14, 1999, the answer arrived. Dr. Raymond Fisher's official report was damning. The findings were clear. Dr. Holloway had made critical errors during the surgery. The valve sizing was inappropriate, the coronary artery injury suggested a lack of proper care, and Rosa Calabrese's death was entirely preventable. Armed with this expert report, Vincent's attorney, David Morse, filed a medical malpractice lawsuit against Dr. Holloway and Mercy General Hospital on June 3, 1999. The response was swift and aggressive. Dr. Holloway's high-powered legal team filed a motion to dismiss, claiming that Rosa's death was due to her underlying health issues, not the surgical errors. Throughout the summer, Vincent sat through depositions and hearings. In these proceedings, Dr. Holloway, dressed in expensive designer suits, showed no remorse. In her own deposition, she stated coldly that the procedure had been performed to the standard of care and that the outcome, while unfortunate, was not expected. The legal system that Vincent had put his faith in was now systematically dismantling his case. The hospital's lawyers buried him in paperwork and legal motions, making it clear that justice was slipping further away. We want to hear from you. Do you think Vincent got justice? Comment below. Vincent's emotional turmoil grew as his legal battle wore on. Feeling powerless and consumed by grief, he decided to take matters into his own hands. On December 13, 1999, he walked into a gun store in El Cajon called Patriot Arms. With no criminal history or mental health holds on his record, his background check cleared instantly. He legally purchased a Glock 17 9mm handgun and several boxes of ammunition, telling the clerk he wanted it for home protection. Vincent left the store with the weapon on the passenger seat of his truck. This was no longer just about justice or the legal system. It had become personal. Over the next week, he carefully prepared for what would come next. Vincent began surveilling Dr. Holloway, documenting her daily routine in a small notebook. He noted when she went for her morning runs, when her housekeeper arrived, and when she was usually home from work. By December 27, 1999, his plan was fully formed. All that was left was to choose the day. For exclusive crime case updates, follow us on social media. Links are in the description. On May 14, 1999, Vincent Calabrese parked his truck 3 blocks from Dr. Holloway's home and walked the remaining distance in the pre-dawn quiet. The Glock 17 was concealed in his jacket. At 7:02 a.m., just as he had predicted, Dr. Holloway exited her home, dressed in her running clothes. Vincent stepped out from behind a hedge to confront him. Initially, Dr. Holloway was annoyed, not recognizing him. But when he identified himself as Rosa Calabrese's son, her annoyance turned to dismissiveness. She told him coldly that the matter was settled. That final act of disregard, the coldness in her voice as she turned to walk away, was the breaking point for Vincent. He pulled the gun from his jacket. For the first time, Dr. Holloway saw the weapon, and her irritation turned to terror. Neighbors' security camera footage captured the next 2 minutes. Dr. Holloway backing away, her hands raised in a pleading gesture. Witnesses later reported hearing her offer him money, yet another miscalculation. For Vincent, this was not about money. This was about the life that had been devalued. At 7:06 a.m., Vincent fired 3 shots. 2 struck Dr. Holloway in the chest, and a third hit her in the abdomen. She collapsed on her front lawn. Vincent stood over her body, his expression described later as simply empty. As a neighbor screamed into a 911 call, Vincent turned and walked back the way he came, leaving the surgeon to die on the perfect green grass of the life she had built.
This case is a true testament to the complexity of justice. What are your thoughts? Subscribe for more in-depth analysis of such cases. Less than an hour after Dr. Holloway was pronounced dead, police found Vincent sitting calmly in his truck 3 blocks from the crime scene. The Glock 17 rested on the passenger seat. Without resistance, he surrendered to the authorities. His first words to the arresting officers were direct and emotionless. "I did it. I killed her. She killed my mother and nobody cared." The investigation took a chilling turn when Detective Sarah Mendoza executed a search warrant at Vincent's apartment. On his kitchen table, she found the 14-page letter Vincent had left behind. Sitting in her car, Detective Mendoza read it all. It was not the rambling manifesto of a madman. It was a methodical, heartbreakingly detailed account of Vincent's journey. The death of his mother, the failed lawsuit, the systemic indifference that had pushed him to this point. Mendoza, a seasoned detective, had seen countless motives for murder, but this was different. The letter didn't excuse the crime, but it explained it with painful clarity. The open and shut case had just become far more complicated. Vincent Calabrese was a killer, but as Mendoza closed the final page, she began to wonder if he was also a victim. If you're stunned by this case, drop a like and share it with someone who needs to know. Don't forget to subscribe for similar gripping stories. Vincent Calabrese's trial began in August 2000, capturing the attention of San Diego and sparking public debate over the blurred lines of justice. The prosecution painted a clear picture of premeditation. Vincent had surveilled Dr. Holloway, purchased a weapon, and meticulously planned the confrontation. The timeline was laid out, and the evidence was damning. In response, his public defender argued it was a case of voluntary manslaughter. The defense told the jury the story of a grieving son pushed to his breaking point by a negligent doctor and a justice system that had failed him. Throughout the trial, evidence of Dr. Holloway's previous malpractice settlements was presented alongside the damning expert report on Rosa's death. Mitzins-Leimer even suggested that the healthcare system had failed to hold Dr. Holloway accountable for her mistakes. In a surprising move, Vincent chose to testify in his own defense. With raw emotion, he admitted that his crime was wrong, but refused to apologize for the anger that fueled it. "My mother died because a doctor didn't think she was important enough to care about," he told the courtroom, his voice steady. "I know I have to pay, but I want you to understand, my mother's life mattered." After 2 days of deliberation, the jury returned a verdict, guilty of second-degree murder. They acknowledged the emotional provocation, but could not condone the act, sentencing Vincent to 15 years to life in prison. What's your opinion on the trial's outcome? Let us know in the comments, and make sure to hit the notification bell for more true crime coverage.
The death of Dr. Patricia Holloway triggered an internal review at Mercy General Hospital, where policies were quietly revised after 2 of her previous malpractice settlements were unsealed. These settlements revealed a disturbing pattern of negligence in her practice, yet it was too late for Rosa Calabrese and too late for Vincent. Vincent Calabrese served nearly 25 years in prison. After being denied parole 3 times, he was finally released in November 2024 at the age of 63. Despite everything that had happened, Vincent's journey did not end in bitterness. He now volunteers at a legal aid clinic, helping families like his own navigate the same broken system that had failed him. While the case itself became a symbol of the flaws in the healthcare and legal systems, it also left a complicated legacy. It sparked conversations about the failures of institutions and raised important questions about accountability, justice, and the lives that are caught in the system's cracks. This case is far from over. Follow us on social media for updates on similar stories, and be sure to like and share this video. The tragic story of Vincent Calabrese and Dr. Patricia Holloway is a painful reminder of how easily individuals can be failed by the very institutions designed to protect them. Vincent's quest for justice, driven by grief and frustration, led to a confrontation that ultimately shattered both of their lives. In the end, no one truly won. Dr. Holloway's death, though tragic, exposed a much deeper issue within the healthcare system. Vincent's actions, while indefensible, were the result of years of ignored pain and failure on the part of those who should have been held accountable. This case leaves us with more questions than answers. How far can a broken system push someone before they break themselves? And what does justice truly mean when it feels so out of reach? Thanks for watching this heartbreaking tale. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Your support helps us keep sharing these powerful stories. See you in the next one.